Hi everyone, thanks for joining me. It's Sean at MILF and Money. Happy Sunday to you. I am here today to do a cash stuffing, and this cash stuffing is going to feature funds that come directly from a portion of my boyfriend's paycheck for this week, as well as a bonus pay. So the majority of those funds are still in the bank, but we decided to be intentional about a specific amount. We did budget ahead of time, anticipating that these funds would drop this week. So not only his paycheck, but like I said, the bonus. So this is just a portion of those funds that we wanted to put into a few challenges until we build up a certain amount, and then we're going to move those funds back to a high yield savings account at that point. But I just wanted to get that done, and I thought it'd be good to film it for you guys instead of my regular cash stuffing. I actually don't have a cash stuffing this week for myself just yet. But I do plan to try to get that done, just depending on how things go. We have a few things around the house that have required our immediate attention, so that's kind of why you haven't seen me do very many cash stuffings on film. They do still happen behind the scenes, but they're just not very involved, because I've just been able to kind of put into certain categories. Anyway, with all that said, one of the first things we're going to do is go ahead and count the funds that we have. So I'll move the calculator here. I'm not sure where you guys are going to be able to see that at, but let's just start with a count here. I did break some of the funds down, and I have a cute little cheat sheet here that I'll be using to help me. So let's jump in. We have 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50. All right, so 50. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 110. 20, 40, 60, 80, 100. 20, 40, 60, 80, 200. 20, 40, 60, 80, 300. 20, 40. So 340. 50, 100, 50, 200, 50, 300, 50, 400. Alrighty. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, $1,800. All right, so that's correct. We do have, I don't know if you guys can see that, but it says 2,700, which is accurate. Okay. All right, so I'll move the calculator to the side for the time being, and the first thing I want to go ahead and stuff is my boyfriend's wallet funds, and so I'm going to use this fun little binder from Paychecks and Prayers. I got this in, I think, like a mystery box she had a while back, and it's giving masculinity, so I thought that would be cool for his binder. And it's pretty simple. For the most part, guys are simple, so I just have some black envelopes here, and then I have his budget dashboard, and both of these came from Budgeting with Chloe, which is now known as Bare Bones Collectives. Alrighty, so I actually don't have all of his categories here, but let's see. We are going to stuff what we know. So there's only one category is missing, and that's his miscellaneous. So I'll figure that out. But the first one is eating out. We're going to budget $100 for that. Okay. Let's do that in a 50, 2 20s, and a 10. Okay. That's 50, 70, 90, 100. I didn't prepare truly for this, so it is a little off maybe. For gas, we budgeted for the 2 weeks $100 for gas. Ooh, let's do that in 250s. Okay, and then for groceries, for his portion, we did budget $100. I am going to do that in full 100 for self-care. So we're going to do 100 in self-care. This is for like his haircuts, as well as just miscellaneous spending. So let's do, I'm going to do just a solid 100 in there. And then adventure, that's kind of like our miscellaneous. And we budgeted $50 for that. Okay, so let me just tally that up. So we have 50 plus 100 plus groceries, we did 100 plus gas, we did 100, and then lastly eating out, we did 100 for that too. So yes, 450 is accurate, and that's what we budgeted for his wallet for the next 2 weeks. Okay. All right, and so moving on from his wallet, the next big thing that we want to budget for are, we have some funds that we need to budget into emergency fund, as well as we have 2 car repair accounts that we want to build. And so I'm going to be using this binder. This is a quilted black binder from Christina Loves Planning. And I've had it for a while, just haven't used it, and thought it'd be good to use it for his stuffing. Okay. And so we're going to work directly from this emergency car fund challenge from Budgeting with Chloe. This is an A5 challenge, but I just hole punched it because I thought it would be great to add to this binder. And then the other challenge we're going to be working through is the emergency fund. So because we have larger bills, I just thought this would be really good for those reasons. So today what we're going to do is $750 into emergency, and then we're going to do for this, let's see, this one saves a total of $2,000, which I believe is what we're trying to build towards for the one of the cars. So we have 2 vehicles that will require some maintenance pretty soon, one of which needs some pretty hefty repairs. So we have a savings goal of one of the emergency car funds or maintenance funds being about $2,000, and the other one we're going to save $2,000 for as well, but it has a larger amount that we're saving ultimately. But we're going to start with $2,000 for each. But today, for the first state car emergency car fund, we're going to add $500 into this one. Okay, so let me find a marker that I can use. I want to do this cute muted gray. It's kind of like a purple undertone. Actually, let me see what we have. We're gonna do 700, no, I'm sorry, 500 into this one. So this one should be pretty straightforward. So 500, each of these icons is $50 each. So that should be 10 of those icons, but let's double check. So 50 times 10 is 500, yes. Alrighty, so let's color in 10 circles. Wait, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Cool. All right, so we're gonna keep that pretty simple, and we're just gonna do $500 and $100 bills. Okay, so we have 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 going into our emergency car fund, and I will fill out this tracker later. Okay. And then moving into our emergency jar fund. So this is going to go towards the emergency fund. And each one of these icons, this saves 5,000 total, but each one of these is representing approximately $100. So we're gonna do $750 in this one for emergency. So let's color 7 bubbles. And a half. Okay. I am going to do that in 100s as well. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 50. So $750 going into our emergency jar fund for this cash stuffing today. Okay. All right, so that is pretty much all that we're going to do out of this binder. All right, so let's close that up. All right, and then next we're going to use this beige binder, also from Christina Loves Planning. And we're going to use an old challenge that I've had for quite some time. So this challenge comes from Sinking Funds Co. I don't believe she's in business any longer, but I have quite a few of her challenges. And some of them are on the heftier side, so I thought that these would be perfect. They're large denominations, and it's broken up into months, but I'm just using them as sections. I'm sure I have another challenge that I could use, but this one was, I thought it was cute. It's these little croissants and loaves of bread. Make that bread challenge. So this one I believe saves a total of $2,000. So this is going to be perfect. So what we just saved for in the other binder was one of the car repair emergency funds, and then our regular emergency funds that goes into our account. And this one is going to be for the second vehicle, because like I said, we have a larger savings goal for the other vehicle that's going to take quite a bit of repair. We're going to start with $1,000 going into this challenge today. So mostly what we have left is probably going to go into this, but let's just go through each section, and hopefully we can get to July, which would be right on for what we're doing. All right. And so this challenge does have dashboards, so I don't have to necessarily tally up each, but for January, we're going to save $60. So we're just going to go through each section. We're going to fill it in and complete them as we go. All right, so let's do $60 into this first envelope for January. So $60. Let's do 320. So 20, 40, 60. All right. So next we have February. We're going to do 70. We're going to do that in a 50 and a 20 for February. And let's mark those off. Alrighty. Now we're going to move into March. But first I am going to mark off that one. March is $120. So let's go to March. We do have $100 bill here. We can use that 20. And for March, that's 120. Awesome. All right, for April, we have $150 going into April, and then May $300. So Let's see, I have 300s there. That can go into May, but for April 150, let's do that in 20s. I'm sorry, 20, 40, 60, 80, 100, 20, 140, $150. Let's count that again. 20, 40, 60, 80, 100, 20, 40, 50. So 150 going into April. And let's mark those off. Cool. Awesome. All right, and like I said, May is 300, so we'll add that. Sorry if the lighting's going in and out. It's changing pretty quickly here. So we have 100, 200, 300 going into May. All right. All right, then for June, we're gonna mark off April, May. We should have enough to complete June and July, I hope. So for June, we're gonna do 165. I just wanna peek at July. July is 195, okay. So for June, we need 165 into this challenge. Let's mark that off. 165. I'm sure we can meet that. I hope. Hold on. We have 60, 70, 80, 90, 100, 110. This would be 160 and then 5. So we might get part of the way through July, but that's all right. So let's see, 50, 70, 90, 110, 120, 130, 140, 150, 160, 165, and that is going directly into June. Okay. All right, so let's see what we have left that we can fulfill here with July. With 50, I'm doing this wrong. It's 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 95, 100, 105, 10. Let me use a calculator. All right, so we have 50 plus 10, 20, 30, 40. My brain is not working this morning. And then we have 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45. So not quite enough. We have 135 that can go into July. Let me flip back to the front. I want to see if there's any challenge in here that's low enough that's left for 135. No. So, all right. We need 195 to complete July. We have 135. So we should be able to do the 80 and the 55. Let's see, minus 80. Yeah, so let's do the 80 and the 55, and that will give us 135 for July, which means we just need 55 plus 10, we need 65. I'm sorry, 50 plus 10, $60 to complete July. And we do still have time for that. So I'm not going to count this again. I'm just going to go ahead and add this 135 right into July's savings. Cool. That actually worked out nicely. I was hoping that we would at least make it to July. And so this allows us to get to July and through, which is great. So let me make sure that I marked off all of my challenges. Sweet. For each month. And I also have my own monthly savings challenge that will go towards the emergency fund that I'll be using. And I'm in July for that. I've completed some of August as well. So I do need to add to my challenges also pretty soon. So I plan to do that with my cash stuffing this week after I get paid. All right, so we are going to not mark off July because we technically haven't completed it yet, but that does complete our Make That Bread challenge for our emergency car savings number 2. All right, so that completes all of our savings for today. We're out of cash, which means we're done. Thank y'all so much for hanging out with me today. I appreciate you. Stay tuned for the next videos, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye, y'all.